Hey, folks, haven't been around in a while. How have you been doing? And I've been good. I got me a sweet, sweet job. I start next week. Same amount of money, close to the same amount of money I was making. A couple differences. Not as good benefits and junk, but still healthy for now. So maybe I don't need those. So this is gonna be a weird episode. We'll see where it goes. I really don't have a plan. I just know I want to talk about. This is something I've never talked about, a personal experience, and I just like to get it out there. I'm curious to see exactly what I say about this because I've never really went over it in my head, never really revisited it in my head until about 10 minutes ago. I was doing dishes and realized I was thinking about this, and I was listening to the Y Files. I don't know if anybody ever listens to that. Great show. If you have never heard of the Y Files, WHY, the Y Files, great podcast. Super cool. It's really funny. Hecklefish is great. But so I was listening to that and it just kind of struck a chord. So I started thinking about something. And this might not be juicy to anybody else. It might not be awesome to anybody else. But to me, it was wild. And so I just want to share it. Again, I don't want to build anything up. It's probably going to be boring to most people. But me personally, the way I articulate things, the way I best understand things myself is if I record them. Like for some reason with I can't really see, like I lift weights and my whole life I wanted to be really huge and big like a superhero. And I could never tell by looking in a mirror or my reflection if I was big or not. I always looked like I was teeny. It might be body dysmorphism or something like that. But I could tell, I could always tell in a picture. If I took a picture and then looked at it, then I could see it. I don't know what the difference is. There's probably some study about it now, but I could never hear my voice unless I record it and then play it back and listen to it. Then I understand it and I can critique it, like, third person makes it disconnected from me or something. Same with the pictures, like maybe the third picture, the picture makes it a third person view, so it's not my own, it's not part of me anymore or whatever. But that's my plan here, is to record this story. And I never fully said this story like out loud ever to anybody else and to myself even. So that's my intent and purpose here. Again, it's probably not going to be entertaining. There's not proof of aliens. It's not I was abducted or nothing like that. Just I had an experience. I something happened and I can't explain it. And I'm going off of feeling. Here's what I feel that it is. Okay, let's just, for sake of posterity, because so this was my job. I was a simulation technician in a hospital. So, God, I wish you could zoom fucking. Okay, there's one. There's one. What? Boop. Bop. Boop. So this was me. I was a simulation technician. Fucking love this job. COVID messed it up. I was so the pandemic of policies screwed me up on this. But this was my job. I was in front of this laptop. This is a one-way mirror. So on the other side it looks like a mirror. This is a window I look in. I had the mannequin here and I was in charge of them. Mine was this right here. Let's see. So this is the mannequin's heart rate, tidal O2, oxygen saturation, all of that, heart rate, respiration, how how many times per minute they breathe. You can control everything. But what you do is run scenarios. So you have these are all the different things. If you check off if the nurse, because this is training nurse and ACLS, advanced cardio life support. So we were training doctors and nurses and certifying them in advanced cardio life support. Basically is what it is. And we use these really expensive mannequins who could blink, and you have the headset on, so they have microphones, and you talk to them like, I'm not feeling too good. Oh, my heart hurts. Stuff like that. You talk to them, and they have to answer questions. So you're interacting with the nurses through the mannequin, and you're controlling the mannequin's, everything about the mannequin's body functions, quote unquote. So, and there's veins, there's blood and urine in there. Sometimes we didn't do that because it's just too messy, but you could actually put needles in there and draw blood, fake blood out of there, and they put the catheter, could work. Like, these things are top notch, amazing. And I love this job. I loved it so much. I'm so sad I'm not there anymore. Like, very sad, but circumstances in life, I'll always have the memory. And, but this was, COVID, the pandemic of policies that happened in 2019 fucked me hard. And I'm very sad and angry about it. So yeah, this was me. It was awesome. I want to try to find some better pictures. And so what they do, it's advanced cardio life support. So, they're doing compressions. So you could rail on this mannequin. You could boom, 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 give them a CPR and all that, and check their pulse everywhere. And so at the beginning, once everyone's showing up, you kind of rally them around, and rally them. You get in there. Yeah. So this was me. I was behind here. I had my coffee. Just great job. Nobody saw me. I was in a dark room by myself. It was great. And you rally around, kind of give them the spiel. Like, this is the mannequin. I'll be running it. You can check their pulse here, here, here. This is the machines. Here's the crash cart. These are the monitors. You don't touch the monitors. I change them, whatever. If you want to see like a 3 lead or a 12 lead, just say it out loud. I'll throw it on the screen. And so that's what I did. So it's a simulation that, like, you simulate code blues, the heart stopping or the heart going into asystole or atrial fibrillation, whatever. And so yeah, this was me. And God, it was a great job. So I had 3 screens. I had this one on. We had little tablets, but same thing, really, exact same thing. And this was such a cool fucking job. So I was doing this. I want to find better. I wish I could zoom in on them. I don't know how to do with it. But yeah, whatevs. This is it. It's the mannequin. Yeah, basically this was our setup, just like that. And sometimes we put wigs on them and had cool hats and stuff. Fun little things, depending on the. And you had to set them up. You had to run the tubes. You had to put the 3 lead on them. Everything, had to set them up. It was great. It was a great job. I miss it so bad. So one of these times, I was given my spiel. Yep. Yeah, you could do all this as other things. Like, there was tons of different rooms, tons of different exercises, tons of different. They train you on everything you could do in the medical field, basically. Let's just say that, and that's probably true. So I was doing my spiel, getting ready to do my spiel, getting ready everybody to gather around, and the doctors show up and all that. And then this new doctor walked in that I've never seen before. And she, right when she walked, she wasn't paying attention to me. She was just talking to some other people. And right when she walked in the room, a massive pressure wave is the only way I could call a wall. A pressure wave of terror hit me. Just boom, like hit me right in the chest, like I might have took a step back or whatever, just something hit me hard. And it was a pressure wave of terror, of pure, like Batman Dark Knight, that blue flower, pure terror. Like I have no choice but to prostrate myself, get down, like a dog submitting to an alpha or whatever. Like I think it was exactly that. Like it was primal, pure. I'm not in control of my body anymore. And like I was shaking, like, because like when animals do the submissive thing, you're like, why don't they just get up? Like, stop doing that. I have chickens, and one of them always does the submissive thing. I'm like, get up! What are you doing? And I think I felt that phenomena, and it's not a choice. It's a reaction. It's more than an instinct. It's a hijacking. It's a hijacking. So I'm trying to relive the experience, but all of a sudden, boom, a wave hit me, and it wasn't words, it wasn't images, it was just prostrate, get down, freeze, terror. But so from my past, like, I was abused. Like my dad beat the shit out of me. I was, kind of brainwashed into religion and all that. So, but I through what I believe is my strong mental powers, I worked my way through that, and using the rules I had at the time. Like I had to use religion to defeat religion, and I did that very well, in my opinion. But the side effect or the outcome of that process of my life, of my personal evolution, is fear gets instantly converted into hate, like rage and hate. So whenever I feel fear now and helplessness and powerlessness, my instinct, my personal evolutionary instinct, is to switch that, turn the endocrine on, turn the adrenal glands on, pump everything up, turn the stomach off, fight or flight, not flight, just fight, and it goes to pure white hot hate and rage, and it's controllable. Like I'm not a maniac out of control. It's just I experience fear differently now. Like I'm not allowed to feel fear anymore. Like it goes to, on the offense, it goes to hate, because hate and fear are very, very related, 1-to-1, basically, like same coin. So anytime fear happens, like scared, in a scary situation, or anytime you fear powerlessness, I default to anger instantly. Like it's not even a choice now. It's what I learned. It's a defense mechanism. It's a survival tactic for me. So it goes to hate, white hot hate, rage. I mean, I'm talking adrenal glands pumping, 100%, hands shaking. What happens in fight or flight? Your stomach turns off to divert more blood. Digestion turns off, so it diverts more blood to your arms, so you could use your muscles better. Heightened awareness, everything, pupils dilate. Like it's a real physiological thing that happens. So when this wave of and this lady didn't say anything, didn't do anything, she just walked into the room, and instantly I knew this wave was coming from her. It hit me in the chest, like pushed me back. I stood there for, I don't know, a couple seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. And then all of a sudden I got tingling. You know that the shaking you get from adrenal rush, like, when you love a person and then you break up with them, when you're young or whatever, your first love, and you get that shaking feeling, or when somebody's stealing from, or something, traumatic happens, and you go into shock and you get that shaking feeling, you're cold, clammy, like that came over me before I knew what was happening. And so since my body is trained to, or my mind or whatever, mind, body, both of them are trained to turn that into hate. Like I was instantly just shaking and angry, and I knew it was from her. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and it was, and your intelligence goes down, like your critical thinking goes to zero, because you don't have to critical think when a lion's coming at you. You either run or you try to rip its head off. And running's not an option for me. You know, most of the time, if it's 10 people trying to kill you, okay, that's run. But so this was what was happening. And so it hit me. It was a wave, just pure terror. But my body converts terror into hate. So I had to get out of the room because I was on the clock. I was at work and I'm shaking just like I'm about to rip a tiger's head off. You know, like I'm in the Coliseum and it's go time. And so I had to walk out of the room because I was supposed to talk to all these doctors, you know, within a couple minutes after this. So I went in and sat down and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And I did not want to go back in the room with her. Never met her before, never saw her, don't know anything about her. Nothing looked wrong with her. Nothing seemed, you know, nothing appeared wrong with her. She's just a human walking around. But there was something emanating off of her, a vibe. I call it a pressure wave of terror, where it demanded that I kneel, that I go to the ground prostrate and kowtow. It demanded I kowtow. And yeah, it was weird. So weird. But my body converts that kowtow feeling, that fear of, you know, bow or you're dead. It rejects that immediately. Like, how about fuck you? So, like, you know, that's what my body says. Like, you need to give up hope and fear and kowtow. My body's like, how about fuck you? And like I've literally said that to a lot of people. It's whenever I'm scared, it goes to hate. So that's not good when it comes to your bosses at work, when they try to threaten you or when they try to discipline you. I go to fuck you mode a little too quick. And so that's just shit I'm living with. And so yeah, so I had to get out of the room, just shaking, just, you know, dizzy, shaking, adrenaline pumping so hard. Nothing happened. Like if for an observer, nothing happened. She walked in, I walked out, sat down. That was it. And I was shaking, and I had to grab my coworker, kind of like my boss, like, you know, maybe, yeah, basically boss. And I was like, hey, I can't do this. Like, I could not get out of the chair because I didn't want to, nothing happened. So I didn't want to, there was nothing to be angry or hateful at, you know what I mean? Like, nobody pushed me, nobody threatened me, nobody said anything bad about me. Nothing happened. She just walked in the room. But there was a wave of pure hijacking terror hit me. So I didn't know what was going on. Had no clue. I knew it was something to do with her. Never saw her before. Nothing. And so I told my coworker, I was like, hey, I can't do this. Like, I can't talk right now. I can't stand right now. I'm dizzy, lightheaded. I don't know what's going on. And she said, fine, you know, get some water. I'll take care of it. It was like just a 5-minute little spiel. Like, here's the mannequin. Here's what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And so it wasn't anything taxing. Like, you just walk around. Okay, here's the monitors. Here's the pumps with the, God, what was that called? I'm starting to lose my thing. Lose my words. There's pump. Those are channels. Oh, that's called a pump. And those are channels. And then there's the bag up there. You can hang it. That's probably saline solution. This is all your oxygen and emergency plugs and all that. So you just run through the room, and there's the camera up there. That's a 360-degree camera up top. You can't see where I'm pointing. I forgot. There's a 360-degree camera up top. You can move it in, zoom it, look everywhere, see what's happening. And it's just an amazing job. I'm so sad. That was just I felt so good about myself. I loved This is the first job I ever loved, completely and utterly loved. It was hard because I did at that time I didn't have a medical background. I was going through my master's for healthcare administration, but almost everybody else there, 3 out of 4 other people that worked there, and we were a small department. They were all from the emergency room. They handled, emergencies. That was them. EMT, first responders, emergency room folk, like badasses. So they were all badasses. I came out, I was like an outsider basically, and I kind of felt that. But they were nice. They were super nice. There's nothing against them. And so yeah, this was it. So you have that and that. She has something pulled up here. We would have them. I want a close up of the. Yeah, this is our setup. We had this and this, and I had one more screen. That's kind of more sterile than we had. And there's different scenarios. This is kind of like ours, and you had the microphones and all that. That's kind of like it. Yeah. This is more of this. This is more like what ours look like. Kind of like this, smaller, more intimate. So yeah, this is basically what we had. And the doctor's sitting there with you, and they run you through and we had the microphone when you talked. So that was probably the doctor or the instructor. So I'm like, sometimes they kind of hit it, like their CPR's not the best or whatever. I'm like, I kind of want them to hit this. The doctor's like, oh, no, let them go. You're like, okay. Then you progress to the next frame. So it was a dialogue between back and forth. So it was really, I loved it. That was like right now, I haven't revisited this because it kind of hurt. Like not having this job kind of hurts me. It's my favorite job in life ever. It was so good. So I'm probably gonna have to go be a simulation tech again because it was outrageous fun. So I was sitting there, and the lady was. I was watching her through the mirror, the one-way mirror, and because they can't see you and hear. You could only see them. And I was just watching her, and she wasn't doing nothing, talking, looking at charts or blah blah blah. And I was shook, like completely. Yeah, that's what ours looked like. Completely shook. Yeah, that's exactly what ours looked like. This was a little different. We didn't have these. And yeah, not exactly, but 90%. We had this. That's all your vital signs. And I was shook and shaking. I was under attack. Something had attacked me. Some invisible, unknown force attacked me. Wasn't currently attacking me, but did attack me. And it was from that lady. Somehow that lady was involved. I could not do my job. I could not do anything. So my coworker handled my explanation, ran them through the crash cart, ran them through everything, and I just sat there just trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Like am I dying? Am I having a heart attack? Am I my heart's racing, adrenaline's pumping, lightheaded, tingling, fight or flight, was happening. And I don't know why. Mouth dry, pupils dilated, everything. And I have no idea why. Well, I mean, I knew it was from her. Something was happening with her. Something about her is affecting me. And I had no idea. So what I think, the only explanation I have is that she was an alien. And there was some oh, David Icke is an anti-Semitic. Okay, I thought they were saying anybody who believes. Okay, never mind. So this won't show anything I need, but ooh, Cthulhu. We need to get into that shit. So as I'm revisiting it now, she, and I think I revisited this a little bit in my head before, but today it just kind of like everything clicked together. It was, she was an alpha of some kind. Not a human female alpha, like a strong, independent female, working female. Those are cool. Those are awesome. I like those are my favorite my what I'm most attracted the women I'm most attracted to are strong females, like ones that have their shit together and are badasses. Like that turns me on, if you want to know. Since you asked, so this she wasn't that. She was some kind of alpha, some kind of something, but nobody else felt it. So my explanation of that is, since the brainwashing, since the abuse and all that, I kind of I'm more in tuned, more empathetic to people suffering, to the emotional world. I pick up on that. Like if I don't stop myself, this will cause me problems a lot too. Is I pick up on people's emotions, their pheromones and stuff they emit and all that, and all of a sudden I start. If I'm telling a story, I craft the story, like the reality. I craft it to a perspective. I'm like, why the fuck am I saying it like this? What? That's not what actually happened. That's not what I wanted to say. Why did I say that? I didn't want to say that. And I'm picking up on their vibrations, their emotions, their pheromones, and I craft the story towards that. Entrainment, I guess. Like kind of start entraining to their vibration, and I don't mean to do it, so I have to actively stop myself from doing that. That's why I don't really like being around people. It's a lot of work for me to be around people. It's autism, you know what I mean? It's called autistic now, but it's a power. It's they call it a disease or an impairment or retardation, but it's a power. You could entrain to people. You could know what people are feeling without them saying anything. That's a power to me. So yeah, I have to be very careful. I have to actively guard myself and actively be aware of how like it's a stream, it's a river, and I'm going down the river, and all of a sudden I went down another channel, and I'm going down another stream, and didn't realize the current was going a different way. So with interactions with people, it's a current, it's a sharing, it's a flow, and I got to constantly be aware of that flow, otherwise I get caught up. Like for instance, so some people went through a lot of bad things in their life. I'm going to say I'm attracted to women, so I'm going to say women. A lot of women went through some bad things in their life with men, and now they're jaded, and now they expect bad things. Oh, he's lying to me. Oh, he's probably going to cheat on me. Blah blah blah, and they know it for a fact, and that's how they, because of their experiences, that's how they interact, and that affects me. So they know I'm going to lie to them because that's what they've experienced. And so I feel like I'm lying to them. Even when I'm saying, like, what'd you have for lunch? And this and this, but I feel the same feeling. I feel the same feeling that someone feels when they're lying. Like, heart racing, like physiologically it happens. They know I'm lying, so I'm like, so I take it upon myself somehow to be like, I'm lying. Like, I haven't fully understood this thing yet, but this is what I feel. This is my experience. So whatever, that's why I have to be careful around people and who I date and who I interact with, because I want to make their reality true. If I care about somebody, I want to grant their wishes. I want to make them make their reality true. And if they're jaded and hostile and negative, I start making that reality true. And I don't mean to, but my stories start getting crafted that way. My interactions with them start going that way. I say things, I'm like, what the fuck did I just say? Like, what? That's not, why am I angry right now? Like, I was just cooking food and having fun, and now I'm super angry. What just happened? You know what I mean? So I got to be very careful. It's empathic. An extreme version would be I'm a genie, which tries to make their reality come true. And which, not at all that, but just, for a narrative description, a scaffolding, a framework to understand. If I care about somebody, I want their happiness to come through. But if somebody's jaded enough, and what I didn't know and now I have to learn is that some people don't want to be happy. And I didn't know that growing up. I didn't know how bad people are, people can be, and how if you're hurt, here's a quote: if you're hurt by somebody, you're hurt by a hurt person. So people get hurt and they want to hurt somebody else. Maybe they don't want to, but they can't help it because that's what they do. That the wound's open, so they're infecting somebody else. So I try hard not to do that, because I know I got open wounds everywhere, in my psyche, psychologically. I got open wounds everywhere. So I try to be very careful. Sometimes I fail. When I drink alcohol, I just start spewing bullshit, becoming hateful. And I have some people that I love that love me, that tell me that, and thank you for them. And so I got to keep that in check. I got to constantly monitor myself, because that shit wants to get out. And I'm trying to dissipate it and incinerate it, but I don't know how yet. So I think she was a reptilian alien. I've never felt anything like this before in my life. It was a palpable, a tangible, maybe the air pressure in the room changed. Probably not, because other people would have felt it. Maybe it got cold, whatever. A wave, a wall of terror slammed into my chest. And instantly you feel it in the back of your neck. You feel it like tingly. Blood pressure changed. Like an invisible hand was grabbed by the back of my head and started pushing me down. Prostrate yourself, get down on the ground. It was an experience. And this was, 5 years ago now, 4 years ago. Damn it. That's 5 years since I've been at that job. I don't allow myself to think about it that much, because I loved it so much. So I really don't. I have a bunch of pictures from it. Oh, I got to get those up before they disappear. So I don't allow myself to think about it so much. But that was 5 years ago. Wow. But something happened. She looked like a human, but something was radiating off of her that it demanded that I drop to the floor and kowtow. Demanded it. And not like, here's what you should do if you want to. And it wasn't even a choice. It was I was hijacked. My muscle, like, if I don't know why nobody else felt it. I don't understand that. But I think I was almost hijacked. Like, like it wasn't a choice. It wasn't a suggestion that you should, like, when you see the animals doing the submissive thing, like my chickens, for example. I think it's this helps me understand that, like, it's not a choice, because like I have two hens, and one always does the submit, like, gets down and, submissive, like, okay, beat my ass, I don't care, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to stop you. And the other chicken, and then the other chicken jumps up and starts pecking on her. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Stop that. It's literally the pecking order. And I don't think it's a choice, because you're like, why would you do that? Why would you just give up and let somebody beat the shit out of you time and time and time and time again? Got a hair in my nose. I don't think it's a choice. I think it's a physiological phenomena where a wave of terror hits one of my chickens, my beautiful chickens, 11. It hits her, and it's involuntary. Okay, let me just use that word. I think the submissive thing is involuntary, because all of a sudden I'm like, what are you doing? I push her and she still stays down. I'm like, what are you doing? Go. Stays down. Then all of a sudden she gets up and then runs away. I think it's involuntary. I think your fight or flight, what is that? Your hippocampus, whatever, something gets hijacked. And I don't know why or how. But yeah, that's my story. I think she was an alien. I think she was an actual lizard creature walking around. And as to why nobody else felt it, only me, probably has to do something with frequency. To rise to doctor, to rise to that level, you have to have kind of a steady, stable life experience. So something about frequency like that, like, you can't be brainwashed in religion, and you can't have your parents beating you and telling you you're stupid to rise to that level. Like, because you're going to have to take time out of your life to heal. And the time you're healing, you're not learning, because you're patching up the past. So to get doctor at that young, you have to do doctors while you're young most of the time. And you can't do that if you had to pause learning, pause experiences to fix the past. So it might have something to do with that. Some kind of frequency. I was the only one that felt it. Nobody else felt it. But I guess the whole point is that it was real. Like, it was a pressure wave, like a bomb going off. It went out. It was a pressure wave, a concussive pressure wave, and it slammed me and it hijacked me. And I think if I wasn't prepared to turn my fear, my terror into hate, I think I would have been frozen there. I think I would have stayed there till maybe she would have came up to me and talked to me, and that would have let me go or something. I don't know. But I think I would have been frozen there. But I was conditioned, like I said at the beginning, to turn my fear as a survival instinct, as a defense mechanism. I don't want to feel helpless and powerless anymore, because I felt that through my whole life. Anger is more powerful. You feel in power when you're angry, because it's righteous anger. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So my fear instantly switches over to white hot hate. And I think since I had that allowed me to break the spell. It was a spell. Maybe she was a warlock. But I'm trying to, which I cool, fine. That would fit all the same criteria. But I try to do it from I say scientific, but maybe even pseudo-scientific, because this is firsthand my experience, anecdotal. But I'm trying to, so I think of some kind of endocrine disruptor, telekinesis, something. My capacities were hijacked, and I think they would have remained hijacked longer if I wasn't conditioned. If I had normal humans' pathways, my pathways are different now. I don't react the same because of my conditioning, because of my evolution, my personal evolution, because of my upbringing. My fight or flight reflexes are different. I have been conditioned to be a berserker. But there's no functional use for a berserker in modern society. So I try to find some other stupid fucking thing to make money. Podcast. So, yeah. I've conditioned myself to be a berserker out of necessity, out of yeah. So yeah, I don't understand it. But this happened to me. Lady walked in. Maybe she looked at me, maybe she didn't. I don't remember that part. But there was a wave, a concussive pressure wave that slammed into me. And it was ultimate terror. And my faculties were hijacked, almost passed out type of thing. And if you're looking at it on video, nothing happened. She walked in, I walked out. It was probably like 5-6 seconds. Something happened. Don't know what it was. Knocked me on my ass. I walked out of that room and just sat in that chair. I was done for 15-20 minutes. Heart rate was all fucked up, clammy, pins and needles in my armpits, this dripping sweat, dizzy, like just inarticulate. Had to like lean forward, close my eyes, hands over my eyes, like bright lights hurt, like something fucked me up. And I knew 100% that it was her. I have no idea why I knew that, how I knew that, if I knew that. Maybe it's just wrong and my body, did something weird and I'm blaming it on her. Don't know, don't understand, don't know. I don't understand what happened in this moment of my life. But what my feelings are, what I feel that happened, and just what I think and what I feel happened is that I met an alien. I met a reptilian, and it looked like a human doctor. And just saying that out loud, like explaining it as matter of factly, like that's what happened. That's what I think happened. It fits everything I understand. It's the perfect machine. Like there's no leftover parts. I didn't have to, square peg, round hole. Didn't have to jam anything in. Saying that she was a reptilian alien masquerading as a human doctor, it just fits. It just fits 1-to-1. So I wanted to run through that today. I didn't know I was going to even record today, but that's just what I wanted to go through. It was an experience in my life. I think I met a lizard person. She looked like a human, and something happened. Something happened. That's where I go to, like, I hope death, like when you die, I hope there's an afterlife, like a heaven or whatever. And in heaven, I hope it's like virtual reality. Like, oh, you were in a game, you were in a simulation, and you could record, you could rewind, you could, look at every angle, you could swap characters, look in their angle, and you could hear what they were thinking when you were saying this. Like, you get the whole story after you're dead from every single angle, and you have eternity to review it and look at every, like when you were talking to your girlfriend and you were letting your heart out, letting your feelings out, you could switch to her view and hear what she was thinking the whole time, and just everything. You get every perspective. I think to me, that would be the only reason for existence to exist is reincarnation, but you get to progress. You get to know the whole story and understand it and refine. If reincarnation doesn't exist, then there's no point to existence, in my opinion. As it stands, here's my opinion on this. I guess let's go into this. As it stands, I think existence, all of existence, is a bad idea. Especially life. From what I see about life, biology, it seems like it's a bad idea. As in, all life, by its very nature, is parasitic, 100% parasitic. Plant life you maybe could write that off, but where it uses sunlight, but then it leaches minerals out of the ground and likes to spread, and it will dominate another plant life form next to it to leach that plant's minerals. So it's like, what I like to say is you look at a field, you see wildflowers, like, oh, they're so beautiful. These wildflowers are so beautiful. But if you go down to the roots of those wildflowers, it's a war. It's a battlefield. And then you got bugs, you keep building up. It's complete parasitic warfare on every level when you talk about life. So I don't know what to do with that. That rings true to me, and that's the way I understand it, that every level, every interaction of life, every single interaction of any life that has ever existed is parasitic. And that's true to me. I believe that, and I don't know what to do with that, except to say I disagree with that, with existence. I think existence is a bad idea. Like, existence, the existential existence, the Big Bang, which is a complete bullshit, stupid fucking term and idea. The Big Bang is a completely fucking stupid idea made by idiots, retards. But let's just use that framework because that's what everybody knows. So existence, everything goes boom. I think that boom is a really fucking bad idea. And everything that happened after the boom, the Big Bang, which is a stupid fucking retarded idea. And I don't know what to do with that. It makes me a really combative and argumentative person. And you can't really share it with anybody. I wrote it in books. I wrote it in songs. Now I'm saying it in podcasts. But those are all solo adventures. You can't really share this with other people because it seems most people don't think this way and don't feel this way and are actually repulsed by this type of talk. Which is interesting to me. Like, we all have to agree that life is a good idea, that existence is a good idea. I'm like, why? Why do we have to agree on that? Like, a comparative argument, I think electricity, the manipulation of electrons is a bad idea. You're like, what? You're talking on a computer, sitting in a room with lights going, with plastic that was made, all of that was made with electricity. I'm like, yeah, cool, fine. It's amazing. It's outstanding. It's awe-inspiring. It's fucking super cool. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, just because by its very nature, when you run an electron through something, it gives off heat and a magnetic field. So we have very strong unentrained or entrained, focused or unfocused, magnetic fields dousing, soaking into us, entraining into us daily. Like, the way you think, like how thinking comes about physiologically in your mind, in your brain, how your mind comes about in your brain is electricity, it's electrical impulse. And if you have very strong 5G, they call it millimeter waves, and I'm not going to get into conspiracies about that. The definition of conspiracy is when two or more people talk about a plan. They conspire to do something. So, CIA made up the word conspiracy, or the term conspiracy theory, to make people look crazy. But 5G, they call it millimeter waves, because if they called it what it really was, which millimeter waves is the measurement, the 1 over the to the exponent to the -1. That's called 1 over. You flip it, which would be the period. The period. Shit. 1 second. Millimeter waves goes to microwaves. So it's the period and the God, what is it? Period versus length. I had to type it out for some reason. Yeah. So it's the period versus length, and it's the 1 over. You do it to the 1 over t. So frequency equals 1 over time. So you could do so see that 1 over the t. So that's when you say 1 over, or it's t to the negative first power. So frequency equals 1 over time. So micro is a measurement. So when they say, or microwaves is a measurement, that's its length. So it's a sinusoidal wave, so it goes up and then down and then up. And when it goes back up to 0, that's 1. That's its period. Frequency is how many of those things happen per second. So a millimeter wave is a length. Micro. Shit, I'm stunning myself. Basically, a millimeter wave is a microwave, but the millimeter wave is the measurement and the microwave is the frequency. So everyone knows what a microwave is. The microwave, the object in your kitchen, which uses microwaves to excite water molecules to cook the biological material. That's what 5G is. It's microwave emitters. And what do microwaves do? Excite the water molecules and biological material. And that's fucked up. So that'll scare you. So what they have to do, and your phone's a microwave emitter. So what they have to do is just redefine it. What they did during the pandemic of policies in 2019, just start redefining things. Make words have different meanings, so it's not scary to the stupid fuckers, to the retards in the civilization. So microwave is scary. So what do they call it? They call it millimeter waves. Oh, nobody knows what millimeter waves are. That has no meaning whatsoever. So that's safe. It's still a fucking microwave. So that's just a great example. It's called 1 over. So now we're completely. I keep not getting the word. Endowed. It completely enumerated, completely incapacitated, completely. When something washes over you. Whatever. Saturated. God dang it. Completely saturated with endless numbers of high-powered magnetic fields. Because anytime you run electric current through anything, it creates a magnetic field. So we're saturated with magnetic fields. And anytime you run a magnetic field around a wire, and what are nerves? Nerves are wires. Anytime you run a magnetic field around a wire, it induces a current. So, if how you think, how your brain thinks to create your mind is electronic, is electric, it sends impulses down wires, neurons, signals down neurons. Impulses down wires, signals down neurons, same thing. What would happen if external magnetic flux lines started rotating around your neurons? It would induce current, which is in your brain, it's called signals. It would signal neurons that are not supposed to be signaled at that moment. It'd be false signaling. So there's, I just made up that term, false signaling. Remember that. Send that back. Put it in the chat. Give me. False signaling happens. Neurons being excited and dendrites and all that being excited under false pretense because they're getting magnetic flux lines through electrical activity happening in the environment because it's everywhere. So neurons are firing when if you were in a field, if you were in nature, those neurons wouldn't be firing at that moment. But because you're in the city with all the electronics and 5G, which is microwaves, you have neurons firing that your body isn't designed or isn't deciding to fire. They are firing without your decision. And if thoughts and memories and your third eye, when you dream or when you see vision, when you see pictures and images in your head, if those are neurons firing, and now we have electronics inducing through magnetic fields, inducing currents to make your neurons fire, you're getting images that your brain is not making. I think that's a bad thing. So that's what I think about that. And of course I'm implying that it's intentional, but even if it's unintentional, that all the governments are nice and all the governments are just trying to help the citizen be the best citizen they could be and be the best person and get the best experience out of their time on this earth. Even if the governments are doing that,
It's still a bad thing, which the governments are not doing that. The governments are trying to get 9/10 of us off of their planet. So, yeah, I think I might gonna have to. I made that up. I think I might gonna have to leave it there. So yeah, so I think I met an alien one time in my life. I think I met an alien with strong telekinetic abilities, and that was my story. And I think I'm going to start talking about this stuff because this is stuff I really care about. About 8 years ago now, I was like, I need to start caring about politics. This is my country. I live here. I want to care about it. So I started diving deep into politics and all that. Now politics is mainstream, and everyone's, politics is the new rock stars kind of thing. And I think they're all fucking idiots. But I had to know about politics, and I did. And this is where I ended up. Trump supporter, MAGA, America first. Let's get this world healing. Let's let the people have some liberty. So that's where I ended up on that. But I think I want to get more back into. I have an electronics background. I have an electronics degree with honors. Graduated with honors. So I want to get back into that because there's some, and I want to get a physics degree. I'm poor. I am just too poor. And so I want to figure that out. But I think I really need to start talking about this electronics and work out what I really think. Because I think I could get pretty far. Even before I get into the calculations, I could get really far into understanding some things. And I got one concept about DNA that I really want to develop. And I won't go into it at all right now because I think it's super important and I think it's world changing. So I want to make sure I develop it right. But I really think there's something to it. And, like a Slumdog Millionaire, my opinion on DNA and what I think it is and what it does, it pulls my entire life experience together perfectly. So everything I experienced in life makes my explanation of DNA just so eloquent and so beautiful. So I think I should develop that. And if I had any different experiences, my explanation of DNA would probably be different. So this is very unique to me, very, very unique to my evolution of the personal evolution. So I'm really excited. I'm going to leave it there, folks. But yeah, I think this is the direction I'm going to take. Probably still do some of the dumb fucking politics things, but I kind of got my fill of it. I wanted to learn it. I learned as much as I could. I got my opinions. I just wanted to get smart on the topic, and I did, and I get it now. There's some details I could go into and, get a little higher resolution on for sure. But as of now, I got it. I like more electronics. I'll probably do a video. I'd set my phone up and do a video of me doing stained glass outside. I got a really, really big project I'm doing outside. I'm going to start outside for stained glass. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. Like literally brilliant. It's going to be a light fixture with old driftwood underneath and the stained glass cube. It's not going to be a cube. It's going to be a cube rectangle, 6 inches high by 4 inches wide. I'm going to start that today. I might be able to get it done. But stuff like that, because politics is getting boring and redundant. I think I'm over it. We'll see. Well, yeah, thanks so much, folks, for stopping by when I talked about the time I met an alien person, an alien reptile that looked like a white female doctor. All right. Thanks for stopping by. We love you and catch you next time.